Hey folks, welcome to my garage. This is Cigar Garage with Doc, and today, having a cigar. Already took the wrapper off it, about halfway through it. It's a 6x60, and it is the Gloria Cubana Series R Black. I don't know if you can see that. And it's Maduro. And quite frankly, I usually like a medium cigar. I don't like peppery cigars. I like creamy cigars. So I had this one. I was a little afraid to try it. I was like, everybody tells me this is diesel. Like, this thing is going to knock me on my behind. But quite frankly, I'll be honest with you. It's like smoking a piece of chocolate with coffee on it. It's incredible. It's got great flavor, great construction, good smoke. I mean, it's just a beautiful cigar. Wouldn't mind a box of these. Anybody want to buy me a gift? I couldn't afford to buy a box right now, that's for sure. Not every day, anyway. My everyday smokes is either the Brick House Fumas or the Curum regular classics. All in this size. I love this size, the 6x60. But this cigar is delicious. But anyway, so as we're smoking it, at least you should try this. I give it a good rating. It's an excellent cigar. As I say, that some of the things that we're going to talk about, I've been looking online and I've seen that a lot of people have been asking me about, hey Doc, you had a prophetic ministry, you've been around. What do you think about this guy calling himself the Mahdi? And some people call him the Antichrist, even though he says he's not the Antichrist. He claims to be like the Mahdi, and he's come and all this. When he talks about Scripture, he's way off. In fact, he's way off from the Quran as well as the Bible. He talks about both. He claims that from his father, he's from the Christians, from the mother, he's from the Muslims, and he's, So some people are really afraid of him. He has some power. He's getting some following. Is he the Antichrist? No. Prophetically, I'm going to tell you right now, he's not the Antichrist. Will he back the Antichrist? Will he follow him? Good chance he may. He may even know him. He may even have a good following that'll help the Antichrist. Because the Antichrist probably is on the scene somewhere now. But the Antichrist comes between Tubal and Rosh, which is the area of Turkey, or at least in that area of the world. And he's going to have a lot more power than this fella. This guy, he's got to do some Bible study before before he convinces anybody of anything. But Jesus said, and I'm going to warn everybody right now, if they say he's in the desert, go not forth. If they say he's coming from the mountains, do not go. Wherever they say he's coming from, do not believe it, because Christ himself, and if the Antichrist does consider himself and calls himself the Christ, he calls himself God incarnate, that will occur. Remember, as the lightning shines from the east onto the west, so is the coming of the Son of Man. You're going to see the sky roll back like a scroll. It's going to be obvious. You're going to know it's Jesus Christ. It's not going to be one of these guys. Now, the Antichrist, yeah, he comes on the scene politically, comes from that area, probably does have a Muslim background, because the scripture says that when Jesus comes, if you notice that all of the horsemen of the apocalypse has the color of the Muslim flags, and all the Muslim flags have the same colors. You can go and do that research. But also the fact that it says these other countries will be no more, that he's going to come and destroy those nations, and that's in the scripture in the book of Revelations. We can go over that if you really want to. Leave it in the comments, and I'll go over some of that, teach you some of that if you really want to know that. But anyway, this is the biggest thing that's happening today. I noticed all weekend this guy's been on the internet. And it's very possible, that he's calling himself the Mahdi. If he gets that kind of following, he may be. But he's not the Antichrist. He may be a false prophet. In fact, he is a false prophet. I'll call him a false prophet. He's not a prophet of my God. Not of Jesus Christ and the God of heaven and the King of kings and Lord of lords. No, not at all. Let me just remind you of something. I have another video which I gave a sermon, and you have to understand something today, because there's so many religions trying to play nice and join each other and say, well, there's many ways to God. Quite frankly, there's not. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no one, no man, no one enters heaven but through me. And the reason being is that he gave his life on the cross for us. He rose from the dead on the third day for us. No other religion has anyone that has ever done anything like that. But not only that, but think about this. God incarnate, God himself becomes a man. And because he's true and he sees himself as his son, and he looks and he has to turn his back as Jesus cries out, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. My God, why hast thou forsaken me? What they don't realize is, as Isaiah 52, he's quoting the Psalms. He's quoting the words that were written long before he was born about what the Messiah would say, and that they would pierce his hands and his feet. So that is Jesus Christ. There's only one way to heaven, because if God gave his only son for you and I to get in, do you think he's going to let you walk in another gate? Would you? If you had a castle in a kingdom and you say you had a wall around it, and your son died so that that gate could be open and people can get in, and he died for them, and he died their death, and he said, Dad, don't take them, take me instead, and I'll pay their debt. And after all of that, and after the broken heart of the Father, after what God himself put himself through, would you open another gate and say, that's okay, you can come in another way too? After giving up his son, after going through that torture? Look at the passion of the Christ. They actually say now, medically speaking, it's almost impossible if you see the movie, but truth says that Jesus would have even been beaten worse than in that movie. I don't know how man could have, I don't know. Only God himself could have lived through the cross. Well, I'd be dead before I got to the cross. I couldn't carry the thing up the hill. Even when I was young and I was a Marine and a boxer and all these other things I did, there's no way. After being beaten like that, having hooks in a whip, pieces of glass and bone and stone ripping skin, as it hit his ribs, it ripped off the skin from his ribs. His ribs, the back, his whole back was showing, all the ribs. Yet he carried this heavy cross, this laden cross, through Jerusalem and up the hill. I've been there and saw it. It was a long way he carried it. I don't know. Very few men could have carried it if they weren't beaten. If you see where he did and how big the cross had to be, even if it was just a crossbeam, it was a large piece of wood, enough to carry the weight of a man. Just remember, there is no other way to heaven. Only a fool would think that God would let you in any other way after what he went through himself. That's how much he loves us. So, just a little bit for you, but if you would like me to teach you more, if you have some questions about Scripture, if you have some questions about this guy, or about the Antichrist, about the book of Revelations, about what's happening in the world today, and yes, the signs are all here, including President Trump, believe it or not. It's not just a prophecy of Trump, but he is literally living the life of Jehu. There is certain things in Scripture that repeat itself, and not only to such an extent, but do you remember back when they say that the Capitol building was attacked and all after he spoke? First of all, he said not to do anything wrong, not to. He was totally against it, tried to stop anything to happen. He didn't know anything was going to happen, but he tried to stop it. And I heard the speech. I know he did. Okay, so everything they said about him or about Republicans or anybody else trying to go into that Capitol is an absolute lie. Okay? The FBI themselves called me and wanted to talk about, because I talked online about how they could have done it, okay, because I have that background. That's all. But no, I'm American, I'm a patriot, and I wouldn't in a million years storm the Capitol. But, and I don't say anybody else should either, we don't do it that way. We vote the right man in, and we did that this time. Simple as that. It's as simple as that. Now, if you don't agree, that's fine. You don't have to agree. We can still be friends. See, that's another thing. Okay? You could be my brother. I have people in my family that doesn't agree with me. That's okay. I love them. Love them. Stand for them. I got their backs. Okay? And that's how we should be. Okay? And especially if we're Christians. Especially if we're Christians. So, anyway, that's enough for today. I just like to say God bless you all. Thanks for joining me in my garage and having a cigar. And again, this is a real good one. It's Gloria Cabana. It's a Series R Black Maduro. Try it. Try it in any size you like. It's fantastic. Even if you like mild cigars, you may like this one. Just make sure you eat something before you smoke it. Great cigar. Okay, God bless, and I'll see you again soon.